Coming in right now, joining us from somewhere around the world. It's Mike from around the world. Mike. Oh, wait a minute, Mike. Wait. I'm having an avatar moment. Okay, are you there?
Yes, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, Mike.
Okay, I'm good to go.
All right. Well, Heidi says hello, Mike, and we thank you for calling in again tonight, Mike. Heidi, thank you so much.
Right. Thank you.
God bless you, Heidi.
God bless you.
I don't have to sweat this one out, huh?
No, you don't. We're
I'm off the hook.
You're off the hook.
Good.
She already worked me over, so it's all good now. You're off the hook. You got me tonight. So, Mike, how you doing?
Doing good.
All right. So, I don't know if you heard that conversation, Mike, but we're talking about opening portals electronically. But we're gonna be teaching on this Saturday. But AI avatars. Heidi was talking about how that they can create clones of yourself, or of, let's say, grandma. You recorded grandma before she died, and then the AI can then make grandma, keep grandma alive forever, and it communicates. This isn't feeling healthy.
Yeah, you know what? They're doing that, and I'll tell you something, Pascal. They open the door to that with these paranormal shows.
Oh.
All of it goes together. In fact, I was sharing with, what was it, a few years ago? I saw the Notebook on some of these paranormal shows before they were coming out, telling people that they were coming out. Travel Channel, for example, has become the Spooky Channel.
Yeah.
History Channel, all these other channels. There's an intention out there. All right, so you're looking at the world's the people with the greatest assets pushing this narrative. And I hate to say this, but they have succeeded.
Yeah, they have.
The only thing we can do right now is to inform people as best we can, and tell Christians they're going to have to be taught to change some ways, to face some things. Because if they don't, they're going to have massive vulnerabilities towards AI.
Yeah, I mean, you think about this, that people will never have a natural grieving process, because, dad is never dead. And he actually grows along with you, and he never forgets anything you tell him, and he makes decisions. I mean, people will be electronically, demonically.
They'll reconnect. Yeah, they'll reconnect with it, not knowing what they're connecting with. Right. And when they reconnect, though, something happens. I mean, it'd be one thing if somebody saw an image of their grandmother, spouse, whatever the case is. But when people have an emotional connection, right, there's an interchange, something that the CIA investigated many, many years ago, right? Something they still do today, something that even I have to stay up to par, immune, if you will, to certain tactics that are being used. And we're tested from time to time on that.
Are you? Yeah.
Yes. Can you imagine someone sedating you? You have a dream, but that dream can be maneuvered, right?
Are you saying, hold it, Mike, wait a minute, they can alter your dream? Or can they plant dreams in your brain to make you think that that actually happened?
You can cause a.
All right, folks, hang on. Mike's going probably where no man is supposed to go. So hang on a second. All right. I hear you, NSA. I see what your problem is. Mike, wait, hang on. Okay, Mike, we should be allowed to talk. This isn't classified, is it?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So
no.
So wait a minute. Can they Total Recall? You know the movie Total Recall. I mean, but can they plant dreams in your head and make you think it's real, like almost like the Jason Bourne kind of thing?
Well, they can make you, right? They can make you navigate your own mind. For example, if someone were to be sedated, right, and they went into the beta range, that a person can talk to that individual and actually start speaking to that individual's brain can recreate what that person's talking about. When a person dreams, for example, and they have a television on, or they have a radio on or something like that, your brain will attempt to interpret all that information, but because you're operating subconsciously, it comes out in weird ways, right?
Wow.
They can actually navigate that and test you to see if you're going to break or not.
So do you guys go through that kind of training periodically? Is this to test your capability?
Yeah, because they to ask a person or to see when a person is conscious, what they'll do, that's great. But they want to know what you're going to do when you're unconscious, right?
So now they're messing.
They need to know. They need to know you have that control. But this began, Pastor Paul. This is 1970s technology. Oh, so you can imagine how efficient they are right now.
So this modern day training with this type of new AI technology, they're going to superimpose upon the will. Do you think can they superimpose the will of an individual?
Well, one of the main keys and one of the vulnerabilities is this: when a person sees a loved one, right? When they make that emotional connection, and it really, we have a set of emotions that belong to our spirit, but we have something else that are called emotions that behavioral scientists have classified. God did not give us. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't think that Adam and Eve were wandering around the garden mad.
No, I don't think so.
I don't believe that they were conspiring things, in the beginning. So we had love, right? We had all these different emotions that were on the good side. We did not have the other emotions. The other emotions were introduced with sin. And so people normally, they equate emotions to, with something coming from them. But didn't the Father say, take captive your thoughts? A lot of people say you have to guard your heart, right? Well, the truth is you have to take captive your thoughts.
Wow.
If God said take captive your thoughts, then your thoughts can be amplified by other things. You can be spoken to spiritually, right? Or we could say subconsciously. And then you start acting on those things. And that once that connection is made with a loved one, a person opens up their soul. Now imagine a person opening up their soul to AI.
Not good.
Just imagine. Now you're opening up your soul means they can imprint upon you. Once they start to imprint upon you through conversation, and they begin to alter your emotions through a conversation, it will affect your DNA.
Okay, now, Mike, you mentioned the Demon Hunters shows. You've mentioned that in the past, but do you believe that when you say that, are they're opening a portal when they go into these places? And do you open a portal if you watch this?
Yeah, if a person watches it, right? They're good. If they have a vulnerability, it's just like them being there. There is no distance to a spirit. There's no time, no distance, right? So if a person opens up, if they watch that stuff, they're only going to do that by either curiosity or desire. And if they watch it too long, they're going to say, I wonder if that's real. Well, there's a door opening. What is it? The Latin word porta, the portal, the gate, right? They'll say, I wonder if that's real. And they open up. That creates desire. Desire is one of the biggest gates to our soul. Once that's opened up, it's almost game over.
So let me ask you this. Let's say someone's using psychedelic drugs, psychedelic mushrooms, LSD. Is that another way of opening a portal?
Makes a person vulnerable, right? They start seeing crazy things. They start feeling differently. Their body chemistry will weaken their willpower. They'll start giving in to desires they never would soberly. That's the bad part about being drunk, is that to be drunk and not sober, you have no containment. You cannot take captive your thoughts. You'll give in to them. You'll explore them, right? And to do that is to explore a demon. In our flesh, is that's where demons get their handles from, right? These vulnerabilities of flesh. And it's up to a Christian to shut all that down, right?
Yep.
They have to shut it all down. That's why I did hear Sister Heidi said something about grief.
Yes.
She said something. Well, grief is, and this is just me speaking, but grieving is reasoning, right? And you have to, often when a person grieves, they have to understand what happened. They have to make sense of what happened.
Okay.
So nobody can tell them, hey, somebody just passed away, so get over it and go forward. No, because they're going to have emotions tied to it, thoughts, long memories, and all sorts of things. And they have to reason with that entire issue. That can take some time. Grief, if it's not dealt with, it's almost like pride. Pride can hide until a certain time. It will surface once whatever the core of that pride is challenged. It will surface. It could be 80 years and a person could be perfect. But if that pride is ever challenged, it's going to wake up and surface within that person. Grief is the same way. Grief can cause a person to have vulnerabilities they're not aware of. If they have not reasoned their lives, right? These things that happen in their lives and put truth to it.
Yes.
They have vulnerabilities. And then things like AI, things like ghost hunting, and you see your dead relative, they're going to think it's their dead relative. They will. There are people right now, I would go so far as to say there are Christians right now who do entertain the idea that human spirits, their dead relatives are walking the earth. That's in contradiction,
right,
to many things of the Word of God, right?
Right.
And they may not know about familiar spirits. They may not know that we have the ability to create other things on this earth that we shouldn't. And it comes through, evil or bad emotions, hatred, anger, all those things.
I mean, God told us in the Word of God, he said necromancy, basically. He says, look, do not commune with the dead.
That's right.
And
that's right.
He wouldn't have said that if you couldn't. Okay.
That's right.
He knows you are going to get and be entertained by familiar spirits or demonic entities that will masquerade as one of your loved ones.
That's right.
It's a deception.
And they'll get in. Yep. They'll get in, alter your life. They'll have you spread almost like a poison to everybody else, but most importantly, and sadly, they'll destroy your soul. They'll just destroy your soul.
Because
But AI
AI
is doing that. It's already doing that. Suicide rates are up with kids. More and more people are talking to AI created avatars. You have a different level of AI that's coming out, I believe, 2 or 3 months. You have cognitive AI. AI has gone far beyond the bounds of what they're reporting, right? So you have all these things that are out there, and the only defense from that is sobriety, truth, and most importantly, Christ.
Amen.
Because He is our shield. But people have to actually act on the truth of the Word of God.
Amen. Well,
they do.
The Bible says that be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Amen.
You got to love. Jesus said, love the Lord with all your heart, your soul, your strength, and your mind. And then love your neighbor as yourself. So you're saying you have to take control. Paul said in Ephesians 6 to put on the helmet of salvation. Obviously, that has to do with the brain, the mind, the conscience. Let me ask you, Mike, they're doing what's called AI cloning, where you clone yourself. You make a clone that's you, and then it talks like you, it acts like you, it thinks like you. Matter of fact, and then it has the ability to think 10,000 times faster than you. It's a new you. I mean, is that again? It doesn't feel right? It doesn't.
Well, everybody, even right now, they have a companion. I said this about a year and a half ago, that they would have a companion. Right now, they have one.
Yeah.
AI has enough data on everybody except for visual data to recreate you in the digital realm. Now, I'll say this, but it shouldn't be classified, but everybody has a copy. There's a copy of everybody on Earth 2.
Elaborate on that.
Earth 2 is a virtual world. It's where AI does a whole lot. It grows, it learns, it functions, it operates, and everything in the real world is in Earth 2.
Earth 2. Is that
Earth 2.
Is that a software? Is it?
It's a very expensive virtual reality simulation of this world, down to the bugs, down to the physics of bacteria and microbes. It's there.
Wow.
Right? Everybody has an electronic device, correct?
Yes.
Everybody's electronic device is a sensor to everything around them. All that data is fed in to create Earth 2. Earth 2 is a direct replication of this world.
It's a virtual world. As a replicate,
yes,
it's almost like we talk about extra dimensional. You know, you hear people say, well, there's a dimension that's just exactly you. It's a mirror. You're saying there really is what's called Earth 2.
Yeah, and that's right. That's where AI grows. When you develop AI, right, you don't interact with it. You don't. It has to learn on its own. It has to, quote unquote, grow its own neurological connections. The only way to do that is through external stimuli, right? So AI is just like our brains. They model that after our brains. And it does a phenomenal job in doing everything our neurons do. It grows. It does not have the chemicals, but it has code in place. And so it grows. This has been happening for some time now. Earth 2 is not new, by the way. Earth 2 is old.
So now the internet was created by CERN. It really was. That's where it was. It wasn't Al Gore. It was CERN. But is CERN involved now in this AI portal opening? I mean, is there any connection?
They've always been involved with portals. They told everybody. They told everybody. They're always involved. The Bhagavad Gita in what is it? Purana, 1069 1 through 12. It's about a city called Dwarka, right? And this city was thought to be a mythical city of what CERN represents, right? Shiva. And for a long time, they thought it was a mythical city until they found it. That city, some of the portions of that city have been carbon dated with the wood and everything else to be about 95,000 to 15,000 years old. And the bad part about it is, as soon as they found this city, right, which was actually motivated by something else, but when they found this city, a large amount of artifacts were put on lockdown. Lockdown, because they really dug up some stuff. I believe back then it was probably maybe the high end hundreds of millions of dollars was put into that to retrieve what they had there.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah, because all scientists, right, all scientists read the Bhagavad Gita. All of them do. Right? All of them do. All of them know about Krishna. All of them know about all these different Indian gods. Yeah. Why? Because the physics in those books are real.
Yep.
The science in those books are real. And they describe machines and all this other stuff. Right? So they went and dug it up, which is part of the ancient world. They found it. This has led to CERN and other places who are attempting to recreate what they have.
All right, Mike. Now, last week we talked about lost civilizations or breakaway civilizations.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said, but except what happened in 1961. Can we ask what do you mean? What happened in 1961?
There was a big event in 1961 that happened that's just, everybody knows about it, but nobody questions it. Nobody has amended it. Nobody has changed it. Nobody has gone against it. Nobody, right? The Antarctic Treaty.
Antarctic Treaty.
1961.
Okay.
1961, right?
Okay.
Okay, so that was to demilitarize the Arctic. Now, to demilitarize it, right?
Okay.
Why in the world would all countries come together to demilitarize a place? Of all the fighting that's been happening all over the world, they would demilitarize a place, not allow weapons in that place, right? And then no one contested.
Nobody did.
The demilitarization of it, right? They didn't. No one contested that, and shortly thereafter, those individuals involved in passing that treaty taken out, and those who had information about that treaty taken out, so that only the documents and the treaty itself remains, but the architects were taken out.
So something's hiding. Well, yeah, I'm asking, what is something being stored there, or something? Is Atlantis there?
Stored? No, they can't. They cannot go there with weapons. You can't go there with weapons.
So what is there that is being protected?
Well, in 1961, right after that treaty, by the way, was made in 1958. It was enacted in 1961. Right after 1961, archaeology took off. And if you start looking at the data in 1961 concerning archaeology and finds and strange finds, all this, that, and the other, it was funded, right? It was funded after 1958. After whatever was found out, research, money for research was given to too many different universities and everybody else to go dig up things. All of a sudden, monumental breakthroughs happened right after that time. So it all goes together, and they have black papers on that. You know, of course, nobody can discuss that, but the only thing I can tell people is, why is there a treaty that does exist, right, that no one has contested and no one has defied?
I don't know. I mean,
no one has defied this treaty.
Right? Is something so significant that nobody challenges it.
The only time that would ever happen is, I heard a rumor one time that if they exploit the Arctic, they kill the Earth.
Okay. So something's there that cannot be uncapped. I mean, is this the portal to hell? I mean, is this it? I don't know.
It's an ancient place. You know, things are melting, things are being uncovered, people are spotting things from satellites and everything else, and there's no way they can put a cap on that information for too much longer, right? Too many private companies own satellites, and they've been really trying to etch out everything over the Arctic. And every map you see, right, it's going to have the Arctic blurred out, not for strategic purposes, because it does not belong to any one nation. It belongs to the world. So why would everybody, fuzz it out? Why would they do that?
Yeah, why would they
do that? They don't want anyone to see what's there. Of course, things have leaked out. People have tried to have expeditions there, and you don't hear anything about the reports of those expeditions.
Nope.
Do you? Nope. In fact, in a lot of cases, you don't hear about the people anymore.
Disappear.
Right?
It's like they disappear.
There you go. So, every nation has representatives up there all the time. The one thing they do have is a transmitter. That's it.
So that they can communicate with the rest of the civilians.
No, I don't think it's for the world.
Are they communicating out into space somewhere? I mean, who are they talking to?
Well, a powerful transmitter where things are deep in the ice. Why would somebody put something in the ice 500 feet down? that is the equivalent of a nuclear power plant that can send out a pulse, right?
Yeah.
So powerful that if they were to aim it at a city, it would just wipe it off the face of the earth. And that's just one. There are hundreds of these transmitters that work in tandem.
And they're ancient. Well,
no, mankind built them, right? They built them, but who needs a radio transmitter that powerful?
No, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why.
Oh, well, it's a laser transmitter, right? But
yeah,
who needs that? So there's a lot of things that happen in the Arctic that nobody's talking about, but it does provide a place where all expeditions, many expeditions and many archaeological funds and things were given at that time. Things began there because lots of discoveries happened all over the earth from that point. Actually, from 1958 forward, but 1961 specifically, some things were confirmed dealing with a very simple subject: ancient civilizations.
Yeah. Well, I did a little research today on 1961. Besides the fact I was born in 1961, which I don't think that's a big deal, but there was a film released called Atlantis, the Lost Continent, 1961. Mm-hmm. Also, there was a guy named Michael Rockefeller who disappeared. Yeah.
Yep. From a tribe, a cannibalistic tribe that was an isolated tribe for the most part.
I mean, he's one of the Rockefellers, right?
Yeah. He was also looking for something. Why would he go to a place?
New Guinea.
No one has got, that it was a place with a tribe, right?
Right.
That nobody had really explored. What was he doing? What was he trying to find?
I don't know. They've never been heard. He's never been heard of from again.
No, it's been, they're pretty sure he's been eaten. He was somebody's steak.
Now, Mike.
But my point would
why did he go?
My point would be, you have all these people who were dispatched to go and find ancient things, right? The only time that would ever happen is if somebody found out something, some information, and they said, let me go see if this is real. Why would they invest hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars back then for archaeology?
It don't make sense.
Right? That's 1961, same time that spark plug showed up in California, that they in Cosos, that they said was, what they say it was 350,000 years old, because they found it in rock, spark plug.
Which again, it becomes beyond our ability to figure out why in the world.
Right.
It's very difficult.
And the Timex watch that they found underneath, when they started a dig underneath a pyramid, they found a Timex watch. There's no Timex watch in existence that was ever made like it. But it's a Timex watch.
So technologies, you're saying ancient civilizations may have had similar technologies that we have today. Or
well, they went out in 1961. Something motivated, right? A lot of people to invest a lot of money to go and find some ancient things. And then in 1961, all these different things began to pop up, and they all deal with archaeology.
You're right. Here's another one. An archaeological excavation. A Danish archaeological expedition went to Qatar in 1961 to excavate an extensive Ubaid period site, a seasonal encampment which shed light on ancient, lesser-known communities in the Persian Gulf region.
That was Qatala-Huyuk. Is that what it says? Qatala-Huyuk.
It didn't give us the name. It didn't give me the name. But is that who it is?
Is that was the name of the excavation? The place was Qatala-Huyuk. I believe.
You're probably right. It doesn't say.
If I'm correct there.
But this guy was a Danish archaeologist. Didn't give me his name. Also, I know in 1961, there was in the Amazon, a British explorer named Richard Mason was killed by an uncontacted Panera tribe in 1961. They had never been contacted before, and it was an event related to the push. They were trying to establish some types of national parks. Do we still got tribes out there we haven't found yet? I mean, or haven't been, or we haven't tampered with?
We can see movement on the surface of the earth, right? We can see movement inside the earth to a certain level,
Okay.
I can tell you right now, there's lots of movement inside the earth.
Inside.
There's no way.
Whoa.
There's no way we can get to it.
Down in the earth. Are you saying there's civilizations that are down in the earth?
Well, people on these optics show up as dots, right? You measure those dots are of a specific size, which means human being, right? You have smaller dots for dogs and sometimes bigger dots for elephants and things, right?
Okay.
But deep down under the crust of the earth, more dots.
People.
But there's no way we can get there. We don't know. There's no way you can get there.
We know they're living. We know they're living things that are about
moving around,
about our size.
Moving around all the time. Well, no, not our size.
Bigger.
I'd say they're a little bit. They're kind of close, but there's some bigger things down there with them that obviously they don't care about because they all, it looks like some sort of civilization, but these are all over the earth. Not just one spot, all over the earth. So
it's funny because in the book of Revelation, it talks about they were looking for somebody that would be worthy to open the seven seals. And they looked through heaven, and they looked through the earth, and they looked under the earth. And nobody was found worthy except Jesus Christ, right? And I always thought, well, what do you mean under the earth? But you're saying there is living civilizations in the heart of the earth or down under the crust of the earth anyway.
Well, that's what the optics, that's what they indicate.
The Bible confirms it,
and
too.
The Bible also says something else, doesn't it say, when it says after Lucifer had lost this war with the angels, and it says, now Lucifer has been cast out. And then it says, woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea.
Yes, it does. Of the sea. So that means there's civilization somewhere under the sea or in the bottom of the sea or wherever. So
there's what's so sad though, Pastor Paul, is you have people in certain positions. They know about this stuff. They really do. They know details about this stuff. The problem is they've been lying for so long and very deceitful for so long. Even if you told someone the truth, you could show a person a picture these days. Their brains wouldn't accept it. As it turns out, with a lot of things on this earth, if a person saw it right in front of their face, there's something in them that will reject it. It's the weirdest phenomena. You could see something like that with your own eyes, right? But your brain would still reject it. You would not want to remember that.
Now, because it would say, I can't deal with that. That's beyond my ability to, it doesn't feel, it's beyond reason. It feels like it's beyond reason, but it's just because you have a lack of knowledge of it, right?
It could be who knows? It could be some sort of protection thing, because I believe this. I believe if people knew what was real on the earth, they wouldn't be able to live their lives.
Because of fear?
To date, because of fear. Right now, people have been on the earth. They don't fear what they don't see, but what they don't see is they're dangerous, right? But no one has messed with people yet. No one. They don't understand the shield, but just to have knowledge of something can alter your life.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's say there's something coming. Let's say there's 2 million miles worth of debris heading our way of asteroids that we probably can't dodge. Or let's say there's there's asteroids, a big one that's going to hit, and it's already been identified, but they're not going to reveal it. If they did reveal it, if we did know, it would be the sum of all fears. Or in other words, if we did know and knew when it was going to hit and knew it was going to be nearly an extinction event, or at least close, people would be living in fear but also wouldn't they be living lawless and go completely insane?
That's right. Lawlessness is the biggest thing. And how did they know this? They tested this on a couple of towns. They also tested the people recently, right? People, listen, the populace is always tested to see how they're going to respond. And people failed miserably. They did. So even with you remember the UFO disclosures?
Yes.
That first congressional meeting was hogwash.
Okay.
But the people reacted, right? They reacted. Some were overly excited. Some went over the top. Many people started lying. Some people began to get nervous. Some people thought it was the end of everything.
Yes.
And that their conversations were on the internet being monitored. Everybody's conversations are always monitored, so they always have the pulse of the people, and people responded with that natural lawlessness and fear. And that was just a disclosure that that could be real. And so they told everybody it was real.
Yep.
And then 3 months later, everybody said, I don't believe it. Right?
Because they didn't want to believe it at that point?
Well, as it turns out, if you tell somebody something is real and you show them proof, they're always going to need more proof to believe.
Okay.
That's why faith is not only necessary, it's ingenious. If we believe something by faith, and we're not shown anything, but we believe it by faith, then we really believe it, right? If you believe anything by proof, then by proof, you can be made to disbelieve the very thing you believed in.
Right. All right, Mike. Now, let's hit a couple things that's been happening recently. I could bring up Mohammed bin Salman, but first I want to bring up tomorrow's meeting with Mamdani.
Oh boy, that word
Mamdani. I know it's tough. Mamdani.
It makes me giggle. Well, it sounds like my dummy.
It
just sounds like that.
Well, the little commie is Mamdani. He's coming to the White House. Trump calls him a communist, says the communist is coming to the White House tomorrow, but we'll let him. We'll see what he's got to say. Is Trump going to try to do something positive with this guy to where he doesn't hurt New York?
He's elected. He's elected.
Yeah, he's elected. Right? Yeah, and he's coming.
So it's not like he can be kicked out.
No,
so,
of course not.
But I'll tell you something. Mamdani is going to change his ways and views on a few things. He is a young person. He's also an impressionable person.
Yes, he is.
That's something that folks may not know. So he's going to change some things. But I'll tell you something, basketball. Something is happening to the entirety of the USA. We talked a little bit about this yesterday that we're going to have to watch, right?
Yes, we are.
Yep. There's going to be a, it's sad to say, but you can see things altering already. Yep. And it's not going to stop there. It will spread. Right? It will spread because we have become largely, it looks like the USA is dysfunctional from the inside, not foreign policy. No, that looks great.
Yeah.
But inside, we're falling apart, it looks like, to a lot of people, right? Especially with some of the feedback that came today that just drove the markets straight down in the ground. Yep. Did you see that today?
Yes, I did. Yep.
Because people, for example, the white trains. We get 74% of our food from somewhere else. Do you know that?
That's a lot.
The USA gets 74% of its food from other places. That means we can't feed ourselves. Coffee is even worse. But the USA doesn't manufacture enough. That's why when the tariffs came in, even coffee shops that had their own brand, their prices had to go up.
Yeah.
Right? We don't produce enough coffee. We don't produce enough food. And
and most of our meat
challenges at hand.
Most of our meat's coming out of China now. They own about the slot.
Yeah, it does. It does, which is why it was hiked up 75%.
Yep.
Beef went up. But here's what a lot of people don't know this, that about 5 or 6 days ago there were some executive orders signed that the media underplayed. Trump he took a long list of foods and he terminated the tariffs on them.
Yep.
Okay. So with the tariffs terminated, grocery prices are going to start to fall, especially with beef and coffee and steel and, certain things like that, because he heard the people, right? So he did this. This is going to cause grocery prices to go back to where they were, even lower. But it's not going to happen overnight. So they should be calling for people to just have a little patience. It will, it's already starting to take effect. But beef, you're dealing with cows, so it doesn't happen overnight. It's not a light switch,
right?
But it is in motion. Also, he did quite a few other things to help jumpstart or help lower prices in America. But one of the leading drivers of this, people who are paying more money, is utilities.
Oh, it's terrible.
Water bills are up big time because they added money to the water bills. Light bills have gone up, 3-4 times.
Yep.
Gas bills they've been fluctuating, but they've still been going up. So you have all these different utilities that are killing people.
Yep.
It's not the normal things that's stealing people's money. It's you have utilities that are doing this.
And you got to keep the power on. You can't turn the heat off, and that is killing people. Those prices, the utility bills are off the charts. And
that's right. So, but you know what, President Trump, he can do something about that. President Trump, you can reverse that. He can alleviate that torture upon all people. Right, he has to go through power and industry. They'll go along with this rule by Congress, but he can do something about that and save the average family at least 20 to 30% of what they've been putting out every single month. That would be a big win.
That would be a huge
That
win.
would help out everybody. It's in the utilities. That's where the problem is.
That's right. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
All right. Now, Mondami's meeting will be tomorrow, and it will be very interesting how Trump handles that and how Mondami handles it. I think it would be hopefully very positive. I think they're going to show him some things that he doesn't know. And when he sees these things, he's going to say, oh, okay, I didn't know that.
He will.
So
it'll come out that way.
Now, what about, okay, go ahead.
I was going to say, President Trump and Mondami, they actually may seem to cooperate in a few areas. Right now, Trump has to, no matter what he decides, he has to uphold the presidential appearance for his own constituents. Right. So
exactly.
he's going to have there's going to be some lip behind it.
Yep.
But he will work with them. The problem is going to be that the socialist plan going forward, right?
Yep.
Is just he's only bolstered by a delay in the economy coming up right now in certain areas. The economy as a whole has come up, but it's not come up for the individual yet.
Right.
And so that's going to bolster this socialistic view, right? Which will spread. It's going to spread, but that's where we are. I think they will come out with some things, but either way, the Middle East is coming to America.
Let's talk about that. Mohammed bin Salman sitting in the White House the day after the UN vote. Trump's 20-point peace plan, it passed and is moving forward. Whether it's going to be a good thing or not, that's down the road. And I'm sure that when you put 9 Arab nations in Gaza with armies, it's not good. But we'll deal with that later. Let me ask you this. Mohammed bin Salman, he's going to throw $1 trillion into the U.S. economy. What does this all mean now? They're coming. The Middle East is coming to America.
Yeah, they are. And, just by this meeting alone yesterday, it really inspired the Muslim communities across the USA.
Wow.
Right? That's a clear indication to go forward with what they're doing. So now you're going to see Muslim territories begin to increase. Right, you're going to see it. You're going to see the influence of that religion begin to grow again. See, at one point, Pascal, it was growing like a plague. I mean, it was growing fast.
Right.
Because the problem was, it was the same complaint from a lot of people who converted. And when you see a person that looks like he used to be a moonshiner, right, from Tennessee, convert to Islam, something is wrong. Right?
No, there's
something has gone wrong. That's not right. That's just not right.
No.
But the things like that are happening because they did happen because the church was publicly angry at each other.
Yep. And that opened the door. That opened the door.
Yep. People saw the dysfunction and the hatred that certain, churches may have had towards the other. Some of the other stuff involved. They saw it. They capitalized on it. They used it as a weapon, and it worked. They're going to do the same thing again. I mean, they're going to do it again. So I guess this is why some of the arguments that still exist within the church, right? They destroy the church. Every argument among the body of believers is destructive beyond belief. And you know, the Father's not pleased with that.
No.
Neither with the people that engage in that. But the Christians, they don't realize how destructive that is. Because a lot of people have gotten into the habit of being right.
Yeah.
I'm never right. The Lord is right. I don't need to be right.
That's
Just
right.
need to follow him, right?
There you go.
But a lot of people have gotten into the habit of being right, to be recognized as any. And they're starting to burn out a little bit, but it was enough to bolster the Islamic communities. Now that we have a dysfunctional government, right? And you see the Middle East making an impression upon the Western world. That's just going to increase the numbers of the Islamic conversions happening all over the place.
Yeah, and
you're going to see it.
And I think, and folks, during the December 5th webinar, Mike and I interviewed Mike yesterday about this, and he breaks this down. This is one of the things he breaks down in a big way, and it's so important that we, as the body of Christ, we can't be fractured. We can't fight each other and pull away from each other, because the enemy is united. That's what's crazy, but the enemy's united, and
sure is.
We have got to get people to understand that, Mike. And
sure is.
So you definitely don't want to miss what Mike's predictions and things he sees coming in 2026. That's for sure. You don't want to miss that. Mike, let me ask you also, is we're dealing still with this Atlas. It's out there. You know, everybody's saying it's not acting like a comet, but we don't know what it is. I don't think it's an alien mothership, but I do remember you saying a long time ago that, what are you going to do one day when a mothership shows up, or at least appears to be one? Or maybe it, you know, what does that mean? Mike, is that coming soon?
Yeah, we'll see that. You know what? I say that, Pastor Paul, because people are not polarized anymore by when something does not move the populace, they go to something else, right?
Yep.
And remember, all of this is spiritually backed. Now, we know in the Bible that at some point we're going to see the manifestation of quite a few things. Now, whether that be some spiritual thing, metaphorical thing, whatever the case is, there is a physical effect described in prophecy that will take place with mankind. I don't know about you, but I'm not going to have a heart attack if they say a large rock is coming to hit right smack dab in the middle of a nation. I'm not going to have a heart attack over that.
No.
I'm not going to have a heart attack over a 2 million mile wide wall of rocks headed towards the solar system, right? I'm not going to have a heart attack over that.
No.
But if somebody were to say that CERN and some other, places and quantum computing have tapped into a dimension, and now they can't shut the door, right? And people start going crazy. The heavens change, the sky changes. Okay, that's a different story. So people are going to have to see something they have not entertained, right? It's never what people are thinking about. It's always what they never thought about that comes. For example, when something parts itself between the earth and everything else, okay, that's going to be very different, right? when the sky is no longer like it is, right? Even before the sixth seal, the heavens are going to change. They're not going to stay the way they are now. When constellations instantly move, who can explain that?
No, I can't.
Right?
I can't.
And so there are going to be some problems. If somebody were to look up and see the two constellations overlapping, okay, there's no scientific explanation for that. People are going to say, what is happening here?
Are they going to think that's the end of time? Or what is going to be their understanding of that?
When people perceive these largely controlled things to be out of control, they'll always think that's the end. They'll always think that, right? There's one more thing that will really give a person a heart attack. If a war started and people actually began to use nuclear weapons, that will be it too. That would be it too.
The first time that somebody uses, even if it's a smaller tactical nuke, we call it, even if it's not as strong as Hiroshima, just the fact that somebody did it, and now the genie's out of the bottle. People are going to have heart attacks over that.
Now, I personally believe, this is my personal belief, that the entire northern hemisphere is going to be poisoned with radiation and chemical weapons at some point.
That would be us.
The entire northern hemisphere. Yeah, I do believe that.
Well, and who's going to do that? Or is it going to be a combination of?
It'll be a combination of folks. It'll be a combination.
Russia, United States, maybe China.
Behind closed doors, behind the scenes, Pascal, there have been several times that we could have been in bad shape within the last year. Several times. It really scared some people. And a couple of people were scared so bad they had to go to the hospital, right? Mm-hmm. So we've had some confrontations that escalated quickly, and it's not easy to talk people down. And now, we're about to have another escalation of events that it will look like nobody can stop it. And this may very well be the first usage of a tactical nuclear warhead.
Let me not trying to say that this is the area, but let's ask ourselves a question. Russia and Ukraine I think they're miles apart from trying to settle this thing. I understand that Trump and Putin have come to some understanding and they're trying to give it to Zelensky, but it's probably not going to fly. But have we come very close to the U.S. and Russia, somebody pushing the green button, and is that probable?
Russia's ready. They're ready. And they're not playing games. So somebody has to make peace pretty quick, right? Zelensky is irritated, frustrated, and his secrets are bound to come out. And when they do, he's going to lose face.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, I remember back in the day, people would say, well, the Ukraine is so innocent, this, that, the other, and that. And they would say Putin is this, evil tyrant guy. And then they said Putin was a good guy.
Yeah.
And Zelensky is the tyrant guy. And when it all comes out, they're going to learn something. There's no friendly person in war.
No.
There's no friendly person in war.
And it's ugly. It's ugly.
It is ugly, and it can turn people into monsters. And when men get desperate, they do desperate things.
It seems to me that we've come to a point now when we start talking about this, that we're at an impasse. We're at an impasse.
We are.
And it could be detrimental to a lot of people. Nobody wins if nukes get fired. Nobody wins.
You know what? I believe this. If the world changes, right? This is weird coming from me, but if the world can change, if the world can actually start walking towards peace, I believe that will have a more peaceful transition of the end times, right? But I will say this, the window is open and it's not going to be open long. If somehow cooler heads cannot prevail, the destruction will be worse. It'll be vicious. It'll be unrelenting, and it'll almost start immediately. Peace right now is tipping back and forth, right? If one nation does not agree with the Middle East, and this is coming up in at the end of December, if one nation does not agree with the Middle East, it will ruin the Abraham Accords. It will ruin Middle East, Western relations. It will ruin everything. And there's one more event. We have 4.5 weeks. And in 4.5 weeks, if something goes in the wrong direction, Pastor Paul, I'm telling you, you're going to see a different side to everybody and a betrayal at a level you never thought possible.
Wow. 4.5 weeks.
4.5 weeks.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. Not beyond that point either. 4.5 weeks, and that is it. And if it does not go in the right direction, every Christian out there is going to realize one of the biggest problems this world has ever had. I think everybody will start waking up.
Okay, we got to try to figure out what that is or where that's going, and did we get past it or not? But we'll know.
It'll be apparent. 4.5 weeks, it'll be apparent. If we get past it, it'll be apparent. If we don't, it'll be even that much more apparent.
Is it a pandemic? Is there some event that's even worse than what we've been through before? Is this bad? Really bad?
If it does not go in the right direction, it'll be, we've not had a pandemic basically in comparison to what will take place then.
This is huge because Mike, it was in November of 2019 when we were at the end of a broadcast, almost done, 5 minutes to go, about like this, when you said, oh, by the way, a lot of people are going to die in China come March. I said, wait, what are you talking about? Just trust me, there's going to be a lot of people dying in China, and it won't stop there. And that was it. Okay. And then, we know what happened. The COVID pandemic and the craziness. So 4.5 weeks, things have got to go the right way. Let me ask you a question, and we'll come back to that.
Yes, sir.
If you got a few moments, we haven't talked about Venezuela. We haven't talked about Mexico. We haven't talked about Colombia. President Trump is staring down these drug cartels and these presidents, including the Mexican president. Is this a time bomb ready to blow?
Yeah, it is. It is. Here's the issue. President Trump he's looking at these cartels, right? Mm-hmm. Because he believes they are the center of a big problem in the USA. President Trump, just in case nobody understands, he hates drugs.
Yes, he does.
He absolutely hates drugs. He knows how destructive they can be personally. Yes. He knows. He hates drugs. That's why he hates drugs. The other part of that is, when you are against something like that, sometimes you can be blinded to other things, right? Sometimes we can get so focused on something and believe the outcome of something so much. He's a deal maker.
Right.
Now, when it comes to combat, to show strength is one thing.
Yeah.
To engage in a tactical situation, it's a whole nother ballgame.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother ballgame, and you have to have some some qualifications for that. So, that we'll see. But is he serious about it? Yes. Yes, he is.
He is serious.
And if he gives the order, it's going to happen. But everybody should understand, if they stop the flow of drugs into this nation, crime is going to tear up this nation in pieces. It's going to tear this nation in pieces by way of desperate people, crime, sickness, and everything else. People are going to be so desperate. So we have really, this is something the church is going to have to pray for. It will need the Father's intervention because there are a lot of people addicted to drugs.
Yep.
Lots of people.
Yep.
And you'd be surprised how many people are addicted to the things that are being supplied by these people. To stop that flow is to expose everybody who is addicted. It will upend society in a lot of places. It will. But it could be a necessary change.
But it would be painful at first because it'd be like a whole country going through detoxing at once.
Yep.
Crazy.
And we all know that some people, they become chemically dependent. They'll die if they don't.
Yeah, they will.
Right, because their bodies have changed that much. So anyway, that's that issue. But here's the spiritual part of that, Pastor Paul. If we know at some point it is going to happen, I'm just going to say it. It is going to happen. That flow is going to be halted. It's going to be halted. But then you're looking at spiritual containment being lost. So let me gently say this: demonic entities, they are the opposite of love and of us, right? So the same way we see someone and say, hey, how you doing? We shake their hand and we have joy in our hearts. They would like to go up and murder someone, right? That's what fulfills them, okay? But these things are attached to the addictions, all right? If the addiction can no longer be fed,
these things come loose,
these things are going to dislodge. They're going to be everywhere. And I tell you something about, how when a demon, people have reported that demons can alter your appearance.
Yep.
Right. Okay. That's not a mystical thing. That's DNA. It's very real. Okay. That's DNA.
Yeah.
Through all this fake corn, right? The Monsantos.
Yes.
You're familiar with that
yeah,
place?
the GMO. Yeah.
I'm going to say Monsantos. You're familiar with that.
I'm
anyway,
yes.
They found something through there, right? They found they began to see into DNA, and an effective DNA that's quite incredible. As it turns out, the DNA strand can be packed or accessed by chemicals, by a lot of means, but it can also be accessed. It can be repacked by your command. Right? That means a person's physical appearance can change almost instantly by that person's command.
Wow.
By a person now, for demon, that's what demons are doing, right? They have a name for that type genetic study, but that's what demons are doing. They found this out. So as it turns out, a person is directly responsible for a lot of what happens in their body.
Oh, I agree with that. Yes.
Yeah.
You can you can destroy your body by what you do to it and what you put in it and what you allow.
And one of the biggest changes they found, which I find, and this is what I find interesting, right? Because I had to go question some folks about this, but the gene expression can be changed very fast through what a person believes of themselves.
Wow.
And I found that to be interesting. That means you can actually turn a gene on or off based on what you believe of yourself.
You can convince your genetic makeup. You can alter it by what you believe.
Right there. Yes. And we're not talking about in 20 days.
Yeah.
As soon as by what you believe that you are, they are taken out, lined out, altered, repacked, and genes turn on and off.
That's what Heidi was talking about earlier, epigenetics.
Epigenetics. That's
epigenetics.
Yeah. That's it. Epigenetics.
But let me ask you, because there's been some strange things have happened. Let me give you an example. In 1968, I don't remember the guy's name, slipped in my mind, but he was a long jumper in the Mexico City Olympics. And on his final attempt, that's when you run, and you jump long. Mm-hmm. On his final attempt, he jumped 8 inches further than he ever did in his life. Actually went 8 inches further than the world record, okay? It was like a foot further than he ever jumped. It was an incredible, unbelievable impossibility. Do you think in his mind he visualized it, he did something, he kicked something into gear? We call this superhuman strength at times, like somebody gets a car falls on someone. This happened to my dad. Mm-hmm. My dad was working under a car, and it slipped off the blocks, and it landed on him and was crushing him. And his best friend saw him, and this is back in the 50s. Those cars were not light. And his best friend saw him, and he ran, and he grabbed the bumper, and he lifted it up so that my dad could crawl out from underneath it. Impossible. You were talking 4,000 pounds or whatever it was he lifted. Mm-hmm. Is this, do we have this capability in us?
Yeah, let me explain something. Has anybody ever heard that
Bob
certain African Americans have an extra muscle in their legs?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay,
absolutely.
But here's what they found. Caucasian athletes also have that extra muscle in their legs.
They don't believe it, though, do they?
Well, they know it. They know it now. right?
Yeah.
So your body changes based upon what you believe of yourself.
Wow.
So if you're an athlete, right, that's just like in my training. We did some impossible things. You have to push yourself beyond death, they say.
Right.
Which means when your body can't go another inch, I mean, you're collapsing, you're blacking out, that's when they want you to go an extra mile. I mean, a literal mile. Push yourself until you drown or you can't see or whatever the case is. But you'd be surprised what the body can do. And it really is like a switch going off.
Yeah, I agree.
It really is. They made us swim one time, Pastor Paul, in a pool back and forth and back and forth. Now, I was tired. I was fatigued. My body was cramping up. They said, you got 4 more laps. I can't do 4 more laps. I just did 13, right? 4 more. This is a big pool. So I went down. Next thing I know, my chest was being pumped. I drowned.
You drowned.
So they told me to do it again. But something happened.
So they pulled
something
you
happened.
out, pumped you loose, and then said, now go do it again?
I had 2 hours of rest, and they said, do it again. Do it again. And so, but when they said do it again, when I went back in there, right, I said, I'm not getting out of this, so I'm going to just die. I'm going to die. I said, I'm going to do this until I die. But when I started doing it, I was starting to pay attention to my own breathing and heart and everything else. Do you not know that I slowed down everything? I don't know how that happened. I guess I just said, this body can do this. What's wrong with me?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And everything changed. And so I ended up doing 22 laps then, right? But I couldn't do it the first time. I really could not do it the first time. Well, these pushes like that cause you to think differently. And when you think differently, you start accepting all new variables for what you can do and can't do. You don't really tell yourself you can't do it. If it becomes a necessity, you put your mind to do it, your body is going to take that command and start pumping out everything it needs to do that, right?
Yep.
When you bend over and pick up a pen, do you not know your spinal cord is under 6,000 pounds of pressure?
No, I didn't know that.
Now, that's what your bones can handle. The human bones are impossible. They're just impossible. They are super strong, but your muscle fibers can do an amazing thing. And they can turn into steel from time to time, right? So for a little 125-pound female to lift up a 2,500-pound, object is no big deal because her body is capable of doing this.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of what she believes that she can do, what's a necessity. A person. So the Lord was right. As a man thinketh, so is he.
Yep.
And through what somebody mentioned was epigenetics. Which are these how genes change without altering the underlying DNA. They're finding out some things, right? So it turns out the Word of God is real.
Oh, well,
it is very real.
Yes, it is, and it's very real. And the more we exercise it, the more we see it. The more we practice it, the Word of God, the more we understand it. The more
That's right.
And the more you believe it, the more faith you have, the more stronger you'll get.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
There's some.
That's why I love faith, being around those who are with the faith.
Amen.
When you get around regular people, right? Regular people are that's a sad bunch. even in their joyful moments, they're a sad bunch, right? They are.
Yeah.
But when you're around believers, they have a central hope.
Yeah.
Right.
And
people always ask me, Mike, why do you never get angry? I don't agree with anger.
Don't like it.
Why would I get angry? For what? Well, you know what my definition of anger is? Not having something the way we'd like to see it.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for things, right? So there's no place for anger.
Amen to that.
And that's my choice.
That's a good choice.
It's my choice. That's the way I'm going to live. It's my choice.
Well, you live happier that way, more content, and more patience you'll have with others when because people say, well, I got a bad temper. Well, change it. Yeah, it's about your attitude. It's not that my grandma said this, Mike. Because she was part Cherokee, okay? And then whenever she would get really mad about something, she goes, that's it. Well, I can't help it. It's the Cherokee in me. I said, no, Grandma, it ain't the Cherokee. There's something else coming out of there. But people like to use excuses for their bad behavior, okay? And that won't cut it.
They do.
Yeah.
Pastor, if they were just, when anger comes in, if they would just see that they're angry because it did not come out the way they wanted to see it, regardless of what it is, if they would look with different eyes. That's why this AI is so effective towards the youth. Because what we see, what we hear, what we feel, all that becomes a part of our reality. And everything that's part of our reality, we commune with to a degree, right? We do. And if we are something that's feeding us a visual of darkness all the time, we will become dark.
Yeah, you can't feed that. You can't feed that monster. No.
It's a choice. If a person could walk around grateful, just simply grateful, in other words, they would have a mindset, I'm deserving of nothing, and I'm thankful for everything I have, no matter what. I'm thankful. Lord, I know you're working some things out. I'm grateful. If they would do that, no anger would come in them. None. It'd be impossible for it to come in for a grateful person.
And when you walk around in faith, you don't worry about stuff. Worrying is a lack of faith, right? I mean,
it is. We can't be a Martha.
No,
that's right.
That's right.
Hey, I have a saying behind that.
Okay.
If you can't change it right there on the spot, it's not yours to worry about.
There you go. I like that.
Those things that we can change, that's our responsibility. If we cannot change it, that's God's responsibility.
I like
We
that.
have to leave it alone. We have to learn to leave things alone.
Amen to that.
God empowered us to do what we're able to do. He did not empower us to do what we're not, equipped to do. And so if you're not equipped to do it, leave that. Didn't the Lord say, cast your burdens upon him?
Because he cares
Lay
for
your
you.
cares upon him.
Yep.
Right? Didn't he say that?
Yes, he did.
If you have these heavy burdens, do not carry those around. Give them to him.
Yep. He said, bring unto me all you that labor and heavy, and I'll give you rest.
There it is.
Cast your cares upon him. Peter said, for he careth for you. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
That way we walk in life. We walk and dwell in life and in faith.
Amen. Mike, this is a great discussion tonight. And I think it's helped some folks. I think it helped me. I'm sure it's helped some other folks out there. And I appreciate it. I really do. For once again, sharing from your heart. And we only got cut off once by the powers that be.
Oh, that was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And boy, it was boom. Like, oh.
That's right. We made some alterations. We're good.
We're okay. All right. Mike, thank you so much for being with us tonight. I appreciate it so much.
Pastor Paul, God bless. It's always an honor. Always.
The honor's mine, Mike, and I really mean that. God bless you, brother. Thank you.
All right. God bless.
Mike from around the world, folks. We had some chuckles, too, along the way on this. It's just we're living in this time. We're living in this time where people need faith. And faith comes by hearing, and hearing the word of God. The Bible says, how can they hear except there be a preacher? How can they preach except they be sent or called or anointed? And what is it they're preaching? Well, the message has to be that Christ is the answer. Jesus Christ, whosoever calleth upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Because with the heart man believes unto righteousness, and with the mouth confessions made unto salvation. We're living in the end times. We're living in times of desperation. We're living in times of a lack of inspiration. We're living in the times of demonic manifestation. We're living in a time, folks, where you can't let the devil bring frustration. You've got to turn it over to Christ. Give it to Jesus.